Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday again, and I'm here, and you're there, and we're live together. And if we're not live and you're watching on the rewatch, I'm glad you're watching there too. So, hey, everybody, as usual, I kind of think I know what I'm going to do, and then I get an idea, and at 5:52, I'm re-scrapping everything because I didn't feel like my other project was quite ready. So, hello, and it's good to see some names, Dee and Karen and Caroline. So happy to see you. So, if you read the caption, it said DTV and outside the box. Well, first of all, who has used DTV? I've talked about it quite a bit. I've had quite a lot of questions. I've had phone calls, I've had emails, I've had messages, and every time I show a little bit, then people ask. So you'll notice I had put out a video that showed it on shoes. And so then that always sparked some other questions. So I thought I'd do the live tonight about DTV, but I always have to make it a little extra, a little special, a little bit different outside the box. And I kind of wanted to talk about some ways that you can use DTV besides just creating in software and printing and having a multicolored design. So I had a design. I'm going to reach out of the view for just a minute. So this is what I had done, and it says, party. And I did not want to cut that in every color and layer that. So that was just a printable design. And that's a great way to use DTV, is because that way I can cut it, I can lay it down, I can press it, and I'm not having to line all of those up. So to me, that's kind of the normal way. We know I never do anything normal, ever, ever, ever. Y'all know me by now. And so I walked through my house and thought about some ways that I might would use DTV. Hey, Reen, it's good to see you. Reen and I did a project together, and we used DTV outside the box, and we used photos. I did a vacation photo. She did a photo of her beautiful doxies, and then we sewed one of her in the hoop bags with it. So we sewed with it. So I'm going to show. So this is trying to get my ring light not to. So this is an artist that is in New Orleans, and for the past, I'm going to say 20 years, she has been on Jackson Square, and I have bought a picture from her just about one every year. Well, not quite every year because of COVID. So I have many of them framed and matted throughout my house, and this was a whole series that she had, and I absolutely loved the artwork. It's hard to kind of get that without the glare, but she numbers them and signs them. So this was 2012, and it was number 47. So she numbers them. Well, I had visited right after COVID, and she wasn't there, and I was heartsick because I knew that she had been having some health problems, and I went back again recent, and she had been there. So I was so excited. She was having hip surgery, was doing some things. She's in her 80s, and she is so talented. So I had asked her permission years ago if I could use some of her artwork and do some other things with it, and she was like, fine. She didn't care. But I love doing some of her artwork. So I took that artwork, and then I just copied it with a copier. So I told it to reduce size and shrunk it down, and then hit copy. And I'm going to not use it exactly like this. I'm going to use it in a collage for a project. But that was a way to just show artwork, moving stuff around here, showing, just, you've seen me do that before. Take somebody's art, copy it, put it on there. So that's kind of a normalish kind of way. So what are some other things that you might want to copy? And hey, Pat and Jill is traveling. So she is up in Washington State. So as usual, she's hitting the roads hard, but she did text me and say that she was going to be able to join for a few minutes. She doesn't have service a lot of time. And her art is beautiful. And she currently does not sell online. She used to sell online, but she told me that she was taking some stuff off because, like I said, she was having some surgery. When I chat with her and find out, I'll be glad to post and give her a link. So some other things, I love to travel. So these are called Lonely Planet City maps, and they are just kind of laminated maps, and you can get them of cities all over the place. Well, to me, after you visited it, that is a great thing to copy and then to be able to use it in some type of a project. So I grabbed maps and thinking, how could we use a map? I grabbed the road atlas. And believe it or not, I know we have GPS and I know we have all kinds of things, but recently we were traveling and we were near Pittsburgh and there was no internet. The GPS just stopped working and I had to stop and pull over and find out exactly where I was. And we had to break out a map to get ourselves out of there. So it still works to have a map. So lots of things to do with maps. You could photocopy one of maybe where you and your significant other met. You could make one if your kids have moved, saying that, showing their hometown. So many things to do with maps. I love maps. And yes, Pam, you can still get road atlases. I just grabbed this one because the newer one is in the car. But I love having maps. I love looking at them. When I'm trying to plan where I'm going, a lot of times I'll break out the map so that I can see I can go to this store and I can go here and I can go here, and I try to map it out. I'm so old school. I still use MapQuest sometimes because I like to put in all my points and it tell me how to get there. So you see, Jill, you've been there, done that. There are places when you're traveling that does not have good GPS, or your car just decides to not play along, or your phone decides, I quit and I don't want to tell you where to go, or maybe it's trying to tell me where to go and it's not very nice. So those are things that you could use. You can see how to play piano. So if you have music lover, you could definitely, there's just a glossary of different music terms and how to read music. So how cute would that be for that music major, that person that is really loving music, or maybe they're just learning how to play piano. I've been learning how to play piano for most of my life and I still can't, but I keep saying someday I'm going to take the time and I'm really going to learn how to play the piano. I have a piano. It was my grandparents and it was given to me and interesting fact, the piano tuner that comes is blind. He has a driver and the driver will open up the back of the piano. He sits down and then he tunes it by ear. Isn't that phenomenal? I love that. And he was the same gentleman that tuned the piano when I was a little girl. So he's still around and still tuning pianos. So piano would be another thing to use. And I have a strange addiction. Some people collect fabric, and I do hit a little bit of fabric, but I definitely love collecting paper. And when they have this one, you can see it has all these different patterns in it. So I'm going to flip. So why do I love these? Look. Isn't that gorgeous? All those different ones. So I love cardstock projects. I love paper. I love how it feels. I love that it's all color coordinated for me. So some of you know, like I love jelly rolls because I love that somebody has already done the hard work of putting fabrics together. So can you imagine copy this one. So that would be one to use as fabric, and then you could do. So let's pick some. Let's see, what am I going to pick? And I'll make it. Let's coordinate some. And Reen, I think that's an excellent idea. And on most copiers, you can put 3 index cards of handwriting to fill up a sheet. So let's see. I like this page. So I'm getting this page. And the coloring is really off tonight, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. I had one, and let's see. That pink, it needs a blue. There's a blue to go with it. And I'm trying to decide between pinks here, which floral I like with it. See, you can see I struggle trying to make a decision. I think the butterflies. So I have butterflies, I have blue with a little bit of design, and then I have a floral. So what do we think? Yes, I like it. We're going to roll with that. So I have copier behind me with DTV already in it. And I don't have scissors because, of course, I'm not sure. As usual, we all know I lose my scissors every time I go to do a live. And I always have had them around, and then I move. I can see them. Hold on. Found him. So I'm just going to cut this paper because I'm going to use this fabric for an applique, so I don't need a lot of it. So I'm just going to put a piece down. Grab some of my other ones. And things, you know, to do, a lot of times we just said handwriting. Even if you have, you know, my father passed away, and he had beautiful, unique handwriting. So even just having his handwriting from cards and from things, just to have it on something means a lot to me. Let's see. We're going to do it like that. And then I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to tell it to copy. And we're going to hope everything just runs smoothly behind me as it goes to copy. Thank you, Teresa. That means so much. You have no idea what it means. I love getting to come and share with you on Tuesday nights sometimes, and people get text and they know it's 6:20. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. Sometimes I'm still working, and I close laptop and jump into a live. So I'm always glad, and you inspire me. So just getting to see these comments and project ideas that you have. And Tammy, miss you, and I will be seeing you very soon. I'll even say this here in our group first. Everyone kind of knows that I do a retreat. This is my 10th year of doing Christmas in July. We do a Wednesday night sewing project. We do Thursday and Friday embroidery projects. And then Saturday and Sunday, we do crafting, scan and cut / Juliet, whatever cutting machine that you bring project. And then people leave either Sunday night or Monday morning. Ron cooks breakfast and lunch for us each of those days. And I've done this retreat, like I said, for 10 years. And typically have the core same people. And they, you know, sometimes somebody can't come and we add a person. Well, this year, I just found out today that unfortunately I have 2 people that aren't going to be able to come because of some health issues that have come up. So I have 2 openings. So I'll announce it here, and then I will post it day after tomorrow. I'll give people a chance. It's $699 for your lodging and for supplies. and breakfast and lunch. It is in Clark Range, Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere, and we love it in the middle of nowhere. And we have a great time with a great crew of us. And so if you're interested, send it to me to So Stephanie Says on Facebook Messenger, and that way I can get those all in one place instead of commenting here because it gets lost in the feed. So if you're interested on more information, shoot that to me. So look, I printed, and you can see I have different colors. So all I would have to do now is I want to take it off of the backing. So you can see this has a backing, and this is just what holds it together while it prints, or if you're using a cutter to be able to cut it. I would pull that off, press it to my cotton, and then I could embroider with it. So it would be a way that I could use that for embroidery. Other ideas. So I have some favorite kind of things. Book pages are one of my favorite things. Jill says, sounds fun. To have to check it out. Jill has never missed a retreat, so she's being really funny. She knows the ins and outs of it. So other things that I love to do that with are book pages. So think about if it's a mystery, if it's a love letter, if it is a cookbook, all of those kind of books make great words and letters for applique. I might be working on one right now. Wink, wink. So other things I grabbed. Now I'm nostalgic. I love keeping little mementos. So I just grabbed some mementos that I had. I typically have it's too hard to explain what it is. It's wrought iron and it's hanging, and I put little things in it. So this is my Statue of Liberty. This is a ticket to the Met. And this is my subway card to ride the subway. And then I have Statue of Liberty. So that would be, a postcard. Then I have a restaurant postcard kind of thing that they had. So those are things that I'm going to do, and then we're going to put them on a bag. So it'll be like a vacation memories kind of a bag. So let's just arrange it, and we will see how we can create it. And I'm not going to put a lot of time and stress into this. I'm just going to lay it down, and we're going to hope for the best, because I know I could go crazy just thinking about how to set things up. And that. And then I'm going to hit print. So this would be just things that I've collected, just things that I have. It's telling me I need to do an update. And so I'm like, come on. Override that. Of course it wants to do an update. It's frustrating. So other things that I have sitting here, this is a coaster from a restaurant that Ron and I went to. I like collecting stickers. So here's some stickers that I collected. So I'm going to do some of the stickers, and I'm going to put those on the bag. So that way I really get double use out of them. Instead of just putting them on my tumbler, I'm going to also put them on my tote bag. So these are some little patches that I had collected. So the patches could go on there. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of lay those out. We're going to hit print. Look how cute. I amaze myself sometimes. I get so happy. Look at that. So should I press it just like it is, or should I cut some of this white away? So should I cut some of that white away and then do it? While I'm deciding, I'm going to throw some of these stickers and patches on. so that they can be going. So think about, like, my girlfriends and I, we do a trip every year together. This would be a fun thing to collect stuff and then make us a bag for the next year, or make a bag when the trip is over to be able to kind of remember some of those trips and moments. So let's see. I'm trying to make sure that I get these all the same right side up. There. I think the white part will show, so I'm going to cut some of it, and I'll show you how easy it is to cut it. So even on the bottom of this, it kind of has a zigzag, so I'm just going to cut it just kind of zigzaggy to give it a raw edge at the bottom of this. Nothing, just kind of going with the flow of it. So that way it'll have a little bit of definition, but I'm not gonna cut it all apart. So what do y'all think? You like it? Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit out of the inside, but not a bunch. And you can see I'm just using scissors. It's not, you know, doesn't take a lot of work to do this. It's just another way to use those products. And you know, I'm always talking about ways to use the stuff that we already have. So we bought this paper, we have printers, let's use them. And Jennifer, it's good to see you here. I put up something in the mail to you today, so you'll get a little something in the mail. I told you I'd probably forget, and I did for a day or two. But now you'll get some happy mail. Nothing like getting some happy mail. See, what do we think? Maybe I'll cut just a smidge of the top so that it's not straight across. There, that's how it's going to look. So now hey, Carrie, good to see you here. So I have my heat press on. It's at 305. I'm going to heat that up. Look how cute. Look, look, look. Oh, this is adorable, everybody. I'm getting bang for my buck here. And I'm not going to cut all of these, but I am going to cut a couple just so I can add them. And again, I'm not doing this all perfect, you know. That's the fun of it. I think we are so hard on ourselves sometimes when we're crafting that it's got to be just perfect. I was explaining a technique to a crafter yesterday, and so she sent me something today, and she said that it was a fail. And I said it wasn't a fail, it was just a practice run. Because, you know, I don't mind practicing in front of y'all. I don't, you know, if this flopped, I would say, guess what? This didn't really work. But to me, that's the part of really getting to craft and learn how to do a technique, is sometimes, you know, it's not going to go the first time, and you try again. I was stitching something yesterday, and I pulled it on the hoop, I pulled it off the hoop, I pulled it on the hoop, I pulled it off the hoop. Guess what I forgot to do one of those times? I forgot to make sure that the fabric didn't go underneath, and I stitched it to itself. It was salvageable, but even, you know, I make mistakes like that. And especially when you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at the same time, it happens, but that's okay. It's only, that's right, Barbara. It's only thread. It's only vinyl. And I say all the time, because y'all know I used to be a nurse, and I'm like, you know, it's just, it's thread. It's just fabric. It's just vinyl. You haven't just heard the worst news in your life, and you haven't just had to see somebody's, you know, life be devastated. It's okay. It's okay. Even though sometimes those moments when we put hours into a project, it does feel devastating. It's not really. There is a gnat in this room, and I think it lives here just to come out when I do a live to get right in front of my face. I really believe that. Look. Cute, cute, cute. This is turning out better than I even expected it to. What do y'all think? What are you thinking? So, Reen told us what she would do. She was saying, so let me know some things that y'all would do. What's some things, how you, now that we've been a little inspired, how are you going to use this? And what are you going to create with it? I like to hear as I'm doing my cutting skills. I am videotaping a new denim jacket, so I'm kind of excited to show y'all that because I've been depressed about denim jackets. I hadn't been making as many after they went missing, but I'm now out of mourning and I'm ready to create. So I'm working on 2 different designs, and I wore one of them, that lavendery gray kind of jacket, and somebody commented they couldn't believe that I didn't have something on it. So definitely now you can see. And Carrie, I did something upside down, and I just put the phrase, it said something like, you need to do a handstand to give this a thumbs up or something. It was funny. And I use it as a sample. So you can see I'm taking this off the backing. And I'm going to press this one more time. And then we're going to lay this down. And I almost laid it down upside down. Here we go. And I'm going to put a couple of these on here also. And you know, I'm not measuring to see if things are really centered or do anything. I'm just laying them down. Let's take the backings off some of these, and I'm pressing this at 305 for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to move it and press some more on. This may be a favorite. I can't wait. Want a few more seconds and you'll see it. I'm trying to get the backing. I want to add a couple more before I ooh and ah. Ooh, ah. One of the tricks with DTV, if it starts to curl, I'm just hovering my heat press and it'll flatten, and then I can press it. And I am printing on DTV. So the other day, Patty Jo, you had asked me on that shoe live video what I was pressing. It's DTV. So it's printable vinyl for your inkjet printer. It comes by the sheet. You can buy it in a package. You can buy it. So it's printable DTV. It's white on one side, and on the other side, it is kind of a grayish color. Are you ready, guys? Look at this. Look how cute. And I'm going to keep adding some other little pieces and elements. I like this. I'm excited about this. This is exciting. I love it. I love it. And it's, like I said, it's things that I just had in the house that I had used and picked up for different things. I'm going to layer that one just a smidge to get that one in the corner. I'm going to keep cutting on my little shark here. When we went on the Crafty Cruise, there was tons of sharks in one area, and they had swimming with the sharks and different things. So I had gotten this patch because I thought it would be cute to reference that later. There were, when we were in Bimini, there were like 27 sharks just right there swimming around. They were just doing their thing as we did our thing. And but I think this pink shark is cute. Press that one. So other things that I have just sitting here, look, a deck of cards that you could add and do something with. I don't the back side of them, these were from Sketcher. So that's cute. And then the different cards. So you could do cards, you could do dice. You've seen me do Monopoly game pieces. So that was something that I had done. Look. So I would probably do a keychain and a tassel to hang down on here. Now, I can't wait to make more of these. I think all my friends need this now that I've created this cute monster. And I might would even put a real patch on there or embroider something just to give it a little bit of dimension, because you know I like doing more than one thing. But I'm pretty excited. So everybody, thanks for watching me tonight, because you get to see me be excited, because I really think that that was a cool project. It was fun. I think that my girlfriends will like it. Some of them watch me, some of them don't. Some of them know how long to watch so that it counts in my algorithm. I don't blame them. I just appreciate that they sometimes watch me long enough for it to count as a view. The algorithm changes. Sometimes it's 62 seconds. That gnat, it's driving me crazy. I'm going to stab myself with scissors. But I think still, if they see it, they'll like this. And I will show it to you one more time as soon as I get finished doing these little shark teeth. I know Ron's watching downstairs, and he's probably not as impressed as I am with it, but when I go downstairs, he'll tell me, good job, baby, because he's so sweet. And then we'll want to know then he'll tell me what's for dinner, because we know I didn't cook tonight. Look, isn't the shark cute? That pink shark. I think he needs to be added on here also. I may be a little crooked and have to find one more thing to do, because you know that may do it. That may do it. So everybody, I hope y'all have a great night. I hope your Tuesday continues to be wonderful. And I will see you again live next Tuesday night. Everybody have a great night. See you soon.